you hear me? What's up? Alright, we're getting some people on the stream. Can you hear me alright? How's the audio? And can you see the screen and the face cam and stuff? Also, the background music, is it too loud? Should I turn it off? Great. Awesome. Alright, so I had a bit of a head start with the Superheavy model. I've been doing this for, I don't know, maybe 5 hours. The Starship is just for material reference here, because I was trying to match the metal surface on the Starship, the Superheavy. But yeah, this is the model I've been working on for 5 hours now. I basically started from scratch, but I already have the dimensions and stuff, so it wasn't like that big of a deal to start all over again. Also, it gave me the opportunity to like this top part here. It gave me the opportunity to redo this, like the connecting part from the top of the Superheavy and the bottom of the Starship. You can see the bottom of the Starship is, what is it, like hexagon, 6 sides. So it fits to the top of the Superheavy. So yeah, the old model that I had, it was done like probably a year ago. So I've learned so much in a year that I basically had to redo it. Yeah, basically had to redo it because no good practices at all. Everything was just subdivided and full of n-gons and triangles. So I had to redo the whole thing. It's easier and faster that way. Or someone told the music is maybe a bit too loud, so just turn it off a notch. So the rings are not modeled in. No, the rings are not modeled in. They are a texture. I'm using a hull steel. This is basically the ring setup. It's a brick texture that's just like stretched, so it doesn't have any, or it has one like vertical connecting line, like the back weld, so to say. But otherwise they're, yeah, pretty simple setup. I use this as a displacement and normal mask. So the dark parts go in and the white parts like extrude in the shader. It's easier to match the rings with the Starship when it's done with textures. And yeah, then there is some like scratches and yeah, basically a scratch texture that I've stretched horizontally to make it like seem more like not a mirror. Yeah, so that's the basic setup for the steel material. Okay, I just actually before the stream I just finished up scaling this UV to the Superheavy. So as you can see, I can scale up the texture by scaling up the UV to make it smaller or like tighter or bigger. Recommendations for UV unwrapping workflow? No idea. I just it feels like my workflow is different every time. So basically what works with what model. For example, the Starship model, I don't think I've unwrapped it like at all, apart from the heat tiles. Yeah, the heat tiling may be the most I've spent time with, like UV unwrapping it, but the top part is just like a projected from the top orthographic projection. I work as a testing specialist. Yeah, that's what I do for my day job. Don't want to get too much into it. Okay, so let's continue. So, yeah. Should I turn the screencast keys on? I don't know, it may not be much use, as this is not a tutorial per se. You may catch on to something. Could you also texture paint some imperfections onto the tiles, like burn marks and discoloration from re-entry? Yeah, I could do that. And actually the discoloration that you have when you heat up stainless steel, I've already done that like over a year ago. I'm not sure if I posted that on Twitter, but yeah, I can post something later today. I basically had the full color spectrum from like 0 degree Celsius to something like 3000. So all the color variation. But yeah, it didn't look that good back then because I pretty much had no idea what I was doing back then. What's this effect? Most of the textures that I use are procedural, but then there are various websites that I can't get from the top of my head right now. I can link them in the description when this stream is done. But I already basically have a pretty big material and texture library, so I don't have to use like textures from the web anymore. So I have no clue where they came from. Pretty much, yeah. Which one is this? Jesus. Okay. My specs for the PC are I run 2080 Super, RTX 2080 Super, and my processor is, I believe it's Ryzen 3700X 8 core. But yeah, 2080 is plenty. The music is a Finnish band called Maustettu. The rough translation is like Spice Girls. They're great. You know, awesome sauce. I tried narrating, like when I was testing this out, and it slows you down significantly when you try to narrate everything you do. But yeah, I guess we can work with that, or I can work with that. Right now I'm trying to align the bottom recess UVs, trying to make them straight. Hold on, let me show you. So you want the metal texture going sideways, like straight, like a brushed metal look. And I'm trying to make the same for the bottom, but because the texture is, it's basically like this. So if you have a UV that is circular or radial, then obviously you can see the scratches go like all over the place. So I tried to straighten the UV up so the scratches would go with the bottom. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. So they would go radially and not like they currently do. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I guess it's such a little detail, it doesn't really matter. There's like maybe one frame in any animation you're gonna ever see that. So maybe I should just focus on the inner part, which has the same problem as the bottom at the moment. You can see the UV is all stretched up and it doesn't look right. It should be like this and it's all stretched up. So, like so. Now you can see the UVs go with the grain of the metal texture. And it looks much better this way. Maybe it's a bit too big. We can just scale it up. Like so. Same goes for the fuel tank. I want the lines go the same as they do at the top, so radially and not vertically or horizontally from this point of view. But right now they are all messed up because the UVs look like this for the bottom part. So I think the best way would be well, you can see it's already, the seams are marked. That means when you UV unwrap it, the red lines mark where the model is basically cut when you project it. So yeah, this whole part will become, you can straighten it up basically because it's cut from the red line, like so. And then I have UV squares add-on that I can use to straighten the UV map. I don't know, I don't think it ships with Blender, but it's a free add-on, you can download it from the web. UV squares. and it basically does that. Simplifies the UV unwrapping like a ton. I've been modeling for 6 or 7 years, and I've learned this basically from the YouTube, doing by myself. I do not have any official like training or anything, self-taught. Yeah, the UVs that go over the square, they just repeat. You can set it so it doesn't repeat and it just clips, but when you're dealing with like scales like the 72 meters super heavy, you pretty much have to let the tiling like repeat. And in this stage, when you're just modeling or just like trying to make the UVs fit, you don't have to worry about making them fit into the whole square. You can just make a separate UV layer for it later and just bake the textures in. Like right now I'm just using one UV map, which covers like you can see the UVs are a mess, but at this point it doesn't matter, because later on I can just make another UV map and just pack everything so it fits. And now this is a separate UV map from this one, so I can bake this into this UV map. Of course it has to be like optimized a bit better. But yeah, it doesn't matter if it looks like this at this stage. I've actually been working on. I don't know if you heard from Twitter, but Elon posted that they are trying to go without legs, like completely without legs. So the Superheavy would land on its launch mounts. So I've been playing with an idea of protruding mounts for the Starship Superheavy. I'm gonna show them to you right now. This is still in, like, I'm trying to figure this out. But basically, I have these pods here, and the holes you saw in the hull. So there's 4 of these launch mounts around the ship, or these landing leg replacements, and they come out from their shell like so, and they would lock to the launch mounts on the pad. So I can give you an example. If this was the launch mount that's on the pad, they would go into the mount, and there would be some clamps in there to catch on those ridges, so it would stand on itself and wouldn't fall. So yeah, that's what I've been playing with. I know they, compared to the size of the whole ship, they look tiny. Like, how could this ever hold a ship this size, like upright? But you have to remember that the Starship itself, it's 50 meters tall. That's like, I don't know, 150 feet or something. But it's 50 meters tall, and the Superheavy is 72 meters tall. So when you put like a floor here that you can stand on, these are like almost half a meter in diameter, the middle ones. These are like 25 centimeters in diameter. So like these are 1 foot. This is like a little under 2 foot in diameter. So yeah, they're more than able to hold the ship upright. Those would not bear the weight. They would just lock the ship down. The weight would be transferred to the hull itself. So there would have to be some something structural for the ship inside the skirt that would bear the weight. And these would just lock the ship to the clamps or the mounts. But yeah, that's just something I've been playing with. And it makes sense to me. I think this would be the least modifications needed. Obviously the landing accuracy would be like within half a meter for these to work. But Elon has stated that they want to get the accuracy down to a meter. Oh yeah, and the Starship has legs as well that are animated. Right now they're just animated to be on and off because I was testing this. And I also have the engines placed. Originally I had Elon tweeted that there are going to be 28 engines, and 8 of them would be in the center and able to gimbal. So this is pretty much the layout that I came up with. 8 in the center, they all gimbal, and then there are 20 engines on the outskirt that do not gimbal. But yeah, originally made the layout for the 28 engines to be like 4-fold, or I mean you can mirror it on X and Y axis both, because Elon was earlier tweeting that they may have to reduce the legs from 6 to 4, so I wanted to make space for 4 legs, so one here, one here, one here. So this was the original idea that the legs would be, so I left some room between the engines for the legs to fit in. But now that Elon tweeted that they are not going to use legs or are trying to go without legs, I just plugged these extruding ones in there, in their spaces. And you can see they work with the Raptors pretty well. They don't come in their way in any way. Yeah, the Raptors are made from scratch, with some references from SpaceX's and Elon's Twitter, and their official renders. I'm running 2080 Super and 3700X Ryzen. Yeah, I was debating about Twitch versus YouTube, but I think YouTube has more people interested in Starship than Twitch. I was trying to look around Twitch and see if anyone was doing anything Blender related or Starship slash Superheavy related, and there was no one. So I thought the audience might be in YouTube. And in the end, it doesn't matter anyway, because I'm posting the notification to Twitter every time I start streaming. But yeah, organically speaking, YouTube is easier to find, for you to find this stuff.